This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, pet parents. I have such an exciting show for you. I know I say that a lot, but this one blew me away. When I saw the end result, I was amazed. Okay, I'm going to be quiet and get to the show. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
He was malnourished and emaciated.
Constant scratching and just being unpleasant.
He was shedding excessively.
He was losing his fur.
Franklin was rescued from the streets of Los Angeles.
Bear was a rescue from the same shelter in Kansas City, Missouri that I got JJ the Terrier.
I found his raw meat diet, which is raw meat, eggs, rice, and Dinovite and Lico Chops. His omega-3 supplement on Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com. I've got my ground beef, the Dinovite, and I just mix it all together with the eggs and the shells.
Franklin, he's thriving. His coat is soft and shiny. He's shedding much less.
They're much happier. Their coats are better. Their behavior, especially their behavior, is better. How do you feed your shelter dog to derive a great attitude?
Start that little pet off right.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Just go to Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to introduce Grant Barton. He's the owner of Precious Metal Prints. Welcome, Grant.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm so excited to have you. And you have, well, it's a very unique type of thing you do with jewelry. How would you describe it to all of the pet parents that are listening?
Well, what we make is a custom pet nose pendant. And the way we do that, we actually developed a method where you can actually buy a kit. You take a mold, mail it into us, then we make the jewelry, mail it back out to you with a necklace.
Well, when I first saw the molds, well, first of all, when I saw that you make jewelry from the dog's noses, I thought, whoa. And then I thought, jewelry person that I am, I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds incredible. You know, it's a great way, a great commemorative way to remember your pet. And I know that also, besides pets, you do thumbprints or fingerprints for humans as well.
We do, yes.
But, well, we're Pet Life Radio and we're all about pets, so we're going to focus on the pets.
Right.
So I'm going to tell everybody, I know you mentioned the process, but I'm going to tell everybody a little about my experience. So, because it was interesting, because Mr. Z has a nose problem. Mr. Z he's 12 years old, and he didn't have this until he was maybe like 10. But he has a really dry nose, no matter, you know, and that's not good because your instructions said to make the mold and make sure it's clean.
Right.
So I did clean his nose, but again, dry nose. So I did, you know, the first year, and it's very easy. Everyone that's listening, it comes into the mold itself. It's in two different types of, like, it feels like clay. Would you say, Grant?
It's actually a silicone mixture.
Oh, that's a better way to put it. Silicone mixture sounds more professional, but that's what it is. Silicone that you make into, you know, a ball, and then you have to get your impression before it dries. Well,
right.
I tried the first one. I got like 2 tries before it dried, and 99% of the pet parents out there will not have this challenge. Trust me, most dogs do not have dry noses. It's a weird thing that he has. So then it dried and it didn't look like his nose. And I thought, I have one more try because thankfully you send 2 samples of silicone. Do you always do that? Send 2 samples?
No, we don't always, but we really do understand that we're dealing with animals, and anyone that ever has an issue, if they just email us or call us, we mail them out an extra.
You must have known ahead of time.
It is rare to have to do that.
You must have known had some intuitive thinking that I bet you this one's going to be, a little tough. So I did the second one and I thought, okay, Mr. Z, you better please cooperate with me. And I did the mold and it's supposed to be clean. It was kind of clean. I hope when you got the mold, you didn't go, oh, what did she expect from this? Because it was a little bit of dog's noses are the black stuff, whatever it's called on the nose, the skin, the dog's skin. I don't know what, there's probably a better name for it. All the vets listening out there are probably cringing, but when his dry nose, it peels off. So there was a little peel nose in the sample that I sent you. And I know I put a little note. Sorry about that, but he has dry nose. So what did you think when you got that?
You know, as you can imagine, after doing thousands of these, we've seen just about everything. I mean, we've done pot-bellied pigs, and I'm sure you can imagine their noses aren't the cleanest. So it really wasn't a big deal at all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And when I received the pendant, I was floored. I didn't even know if you would be able to work with it because it was I thought it was a little bit messy. But it looks just like his nose. He actually has one side of his nose. I never realized, but it's like the nostrils a little bigger, a little flatter. Just you don't realize these things, and then you have this pendant that looks just like it, and you go, "Wow!"
Yeah, it makes an exact copy.
Oh, for all the pet parents out there, this is such a great gift for yourself, for anyone with a fur kid. I wish, they don't last as long as we'd like them to. And when they're getting older, this is such a great way to, memorialize your pet. And even just have your dog's nose, on a pendant. Yeah. How cool is that? Grant, how did you get started in this?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, we were doing the fingerprints, and we've been doing those for probably 8 years. But about 4 years ago, a lady that owns a medium-sized group of independent pet stores asked if we could figure out a way to do that. And so I started doing a little research, figured out the way to do it, and developed the packaging, and then just ran with it from there.
I think it's such a great idea. I haven't ever heard of any company that uses a silicone mold. Some will use a photo, but I don't think that's quite the same as when it's the mold. It's the real thing.
Right.
What is the strangest request that you've received?
Oh, my goodness. We have done an otter.
Whoa.
We've done an otter. There was actually a couple of years ago, there was a lady with who worked at, I believe it was the zoo in Tampa, and was working with the otters. There was one of the otters that was going to be leaving to go to another zoo, and she had gotten really close to this otter, and so she mailed one of those in, and it turned out really great. That's
pretty wild. An otter.
Yeah.
Who would think? And then what's the most challenging to get a nose print? I would think cats are pretty tough, but maybe you've heard.
You know what? We do a lot of those, and when you're doing the mold, it doesn't take but just a millisecond. And so really any animal does well with it. Little big dogs are the ones that are I would guess, the most difficult. We're not always able to make it where the nostrils will be in it, but it is always very special and unique either way.
So big dogs are harder. Well, Mr. Z's kind of a big dog. He's not huge, but kind of medium. Right. But I thought, there's so many people with cats, and I wonder how cats would react to this, because they're usually they're different than dogs, and they're not always as patient. Yeah. But like you said, it just takes like a second.
Yeah, they do well.
So how would people go about getting their precious metal print of their pendant of their dog's nose? What would they do?
Well, there's a list of retailers on our website, and then they could also go on We have on Amazon. They can be bought directly through our website at preciousmetalprints.com. So there's a couple of different options there.
Okay, so people can go to preciousmetalprints.com, and as my listeners know, there's always on PetLifeRadio.com under Best Bets for Pets for this show, there'll be a picture. I am going to put a picture of Mr. Z's pendant, and there'll be a little bit about the product and a link to the site. So if you're driving or jogging or biking and listening, don't worry. You can always go online and find out more info. And there's also, Grant, you said there's a list of retailers that people can go to as well.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. These are really nice quality pendants. They're sterling silver. You also work with vermeil as well for gold?
Yes.
So very nice pendants and very affordable, and just make a great gift for any time. Grant, is there anything we didn't talk about that you might want to add?
No, I just want to mention we get a lot of people emailing us, writing us. We get handwritten notes from folks just mentioning how much they love these and just how appreciative they are, because like you mentioned before, we love our animals, but we know when we get them that they're not going to be with us as long as we would like. So we definitely get a lot of feedback from appreciative pet lovers.
I could see that, because my first fur kid, I wish I could go back in time and get a print of her nose and send it to you, but she's passed and I just have ashes. Yeah. So, but I have Mr. Z's now. Thank you so much. And it's such a wonderful gift for anyone don't wait till the dog is older. I mean, you never know. Dogs live to different ages and, it's so sad, but sometimes they get ill. Dogs' nose, I don't think they change that much from puppy size till they're, a dog, which is like 1, until they get much older. There's not a lot of change. So at any age, it's a great gift. And it's so, like you said, it's so wonderful to have when your pet is no longer with you except in spirit, to have this special piece. Thank you so much, Grant, for being on Best Bets for Pets and telling us all about precious metal prints, some great dog noses, great nose prints on pendants for all the fur parents.
Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
What a great show. And for all you fur parents listening, this is an amazing gift to give yourself or anyone with a fur kid. It's just so special. And I'd like to thank Mr. Z for being super patient as I tried to make a mold of his nose a couple times. And he was a great model. And Grant did a great job on his nose pendant, and I love it because it's my baby, it's part of my baby I'll have forever. And I'd like to thank everyone listening to Best Bets for Pets. We have some great, interesting shows. I'm always looking for the most interesting, unbelievable products. We've done over 200 and something shows. I think might near be 300. So we've done a lot of shows, and there's a lot of different products out there. So I'm always striving to get the most interesting product. And this one I think is pretty high up there. Any ideas or suggestions, send them to Michelle at PetLifeRadio.com. And I'd also like to thank my guest was wonderful. Thank you, Grant. And thanks to my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. Keep listening. We have a lot of exciting shows with really cool, fun, interesting products coming up in the near future.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.